Oh, yeah, let's get it, y'all. Showtime. Time to go out there and win, fellas.
That is the way you get your team fired up. I'd say they're anxious to get this one started. We're in the place they call the United Center in Chicago, the home of the Bulls, where today we'll be broadcasting live. Now a chance to check out tonight's starting lineups. And guys, taking a look at Paul George, what will we see from him?
Well, he's an exciting young player. Almost 6'10", great athleticism, length, dynamic finisher at the rim, and he can guard multiple positions defensively.
And you know what, Steve? His growth defensively has been just as impressive. He uses that length to great advantage, contesting shots and coming away with deflections and steals.
The Bulls happy to return to Chicago after the road trip. Well, guys, at this point, while still many things can change, the record is not on par with their performance last year. Maybe a cause for concern, but something they are well aware of.
And I think they've got to play better than they did.
I'll go to Doris Burke, who spoke with Tom Thibodeau. Doris?
They'll have to deal with the size and shooting combination that Danny Granger presents, and he knows that is going to be a tough problem. He said that even though Granger might not be one of the headliner names in the NBA, he can eat defenses alive with the mismatches he creates. He's hoping they can avoid that in this one, guys.
Thanks again, Doris.
Well, George Hill, one of those unique stories, playing with his hometown Indiana Pacers. He's a native of Indianapolis and Broad Ripple High School. Was drafted by the Spurs, played in their system for 3 years out in San Antonio, and was acquired by the Pacers in a draft day trade back in 2011, and it's worked out well for both teams.
Indiana leading by 4. He feeds it to Fisher. Scola, a screen on Rose. Fisher, the pass to Scola. 7-foot shot. And there's the whistle. Fouled hard on the shot. He'll go to the line. They get Luol Deng. And prior to last season, the Pacers signing George Hill, 5-year, $40 million extension.
He's a good player, a really good combo guard, can shoot it well from distance, can run a team. Maybe not a traditional point guard, but somebody who can help you win. I think it was a good move for the Pacers.
Chris Copeland's checked in for Indiana.
Hey, people had no idea, guys, how the Bulls were going to do last season dealing with the Rose injury, but they showed very quickly that they're going to be a team in the hunt, and they were still going to be hard to beat at home.
Double team on Rose. 6 to shoot. Here's Butler. The finger roll finish at the bucket.
Dropped that one in as soft as a feather using the finger roll.
And back to the Bulls at the United Center that Clark was just mentioning, 24-17 here in this building a year ago. And even though, Steve, they didn't have a lot of high-flying highlights here, they knew how to close out games.
Well, they defend, and that's the main thing. If you want to finish and close out games, you have to be able to defend and rebound. And that's what Tom Thibodeau's teams are always all about, and this year is no exception.
Fisher, an easy layup after coming off the pick. And the Pacers lead by 4.
Give an assist there, not for the pass, but for the solid screen set on the inside that freed him up and made the layup possible.
Stolen away. Outside, George passes it to Fisher. Granger, a screen on Butler. Fisher dishes to George. That's good, and the assist goes to Fisher. And now a 7-point Pacer lead. And taking a quick look here, guys, at the hustle stats for the Pacers.
Boy, they've really amped up the pressure at the defensive end, guys, and have piled up the steals in the early going.
Well, the other thing I like is defensively, they're causing turnovers, and that's allowing them to get into transition.
Heinrich kicks to Henry. Back to Heinrich. Shot clock at 5. And stolen by Fisher. And here we go. Fisher heading to the hoop. Good.
Well, they've settled into their offense very quickly here today.
Yeah, they're zoned in, making the most out of their possessions here.
There's 1:26 left to play in the first quarter.
You know, Frank Vogel is one of the youngest head coaches in the NBA, and in college at Kentucky, he pestered the coaches relentlessly until they gave him a role as a student manager for the Wildcats. And That determination and resolve has served him well as he's worked himself into an outstanding head coach in the NBA.
Henry passes to Heinrich and stolen by Fisher. Hibbert hits the bucket. Hibbert's got 8 points.
It has taken them no time to build this lead up on the strength of a great first quarter offensively.
And they need to continue to put pressure on the defense and try to really run away with this one from here.
Noah with it. Quiet so far offensively, searching for his first points of the game. 3 on the clock. Shot to stop the run. And so he earns a trip to the line. Official saw the contact, and he'll shoot 2. And for Vogel, an assistant for 10 years in the NBA, and when a coaching turnover moved him into the interim head coaching position in 2011, Steve, he grabbed the reins and didn't look back.
No, he didn't. The results speak for themselves, and the team's responded to him. The organization has shown its faith in Coach Vogel, giving him an extension, and he led that club to a deep playoff run a year ago, 1 game from the finals.
Here's West, lays it up and banks it in. West has got 8.
And now we can see them really working it inside.
Yeah, taking advantage of the defense, really pounding it down low.
Last outing for the Bulls, it was a loss to the Raptors in Toronto.
And one of the factors in that game was they just couldn't get to the foul line and get enough points from the free throw line to make a difference.
And it gave those opposing fans a boost every time another foul shot clanked off the rim. They were letting them hear about that.
Misses from close range. Domination in the first quarter. It's been pretty lopsided. It's the Pacers up by 12. And we'll get the second quarter underway on the other side of this break.
On Tap Wednesday, November 20th, Paul George and the Indiana Pacers take on Carmelo Anthony and the New York Knicks. Be there.
And welcome back. It's been all one-sided so far through the first quarter as our second quarter gets underway. And quite a position here for the Pacers to be in. What do you... Bulls trail by 16 on the court for Indiana. Fisher, he's in at point guard. Scola out there with Danny Granger. Then there's Orlando Johnson. And it's George in at the small forward. Gibson dishes to Rose. There's the lob to the hoop. And it's Gibson finishing it off.
Really hard to decide, guys, which was better. The pass, the catch, or the slam.
Clark, there's no wrong answer to that one, my friend. Sensational alley-oop all the way around.
Agreed.
All of the above.
Here's Fisher. He had 10 points in the win against Milwaukee. Granger kicks to Fisher. Granger is screen on Rose. Fisher, the pass to Granger. That's good. And the assist goes to Fisher. Fisher's got 3 assists tonight. For Chicago, they've gone 2 of 5 from the field here in the second quarter, shooting 40%. Here's Gibson, and Granger with the block.
And the rebounding numbers don't actually tell the whole story. I mean, they're barely ahead in that category, but when they've needed them, they've gotten them. They've really battled hard.
It's their work on the glass, Steve, that's prevented any kind of momentum swing.
Johnson for 3. Can't get it to go.
Taj Gibson out of USC is one of the top defenders in the league, guys, when you're looking at big men. Obviously, he's got the frame, the long arms, moves his feet well, but he can bang inside, and he's agile enough to cover and pick and rolls away from the basket.
And stolen by Fisher. Outside, George. The pass to Granger. Dishes it to Fisher. Granger is screen on Rose. Fisher against Rose. Johnson kicks to Fisher. Clock at 6. From 10 feet out, here's Scola. Can't hit. Some solid defense from Gibson. Bulls trail by 16. And let's now go to the sideline. We'll catch up here with Doris Burke. Doris?
Well, guys, Batis won in the last outing against the Bucks. Put together a nice one. He ended with 10 points and that scoring outburst set a new season high for him in what was a great exhibition on his part. He really was the second unit for his team in a great performance, guys.
All right, Doris, thanks. And Steve, yet another special game from a player that we know is incredibly capable for this team.
Yeah, he sure is. We saw it firsthand, and it was fun to watch. He really got it rolling.
Yeah, nothing better than to see a guy confident, comfortable, on a roll, and elevating his team to high levels of play. That's a beautiful thing to watch, fellas.
And Gibson with that 7'4" wingspan, an excellent shot block.
Well, I love the mobility that Clark mentioned. It allows Gibson to cover in space. Excellent pick and roll defender, and big enough to go down and guard postman down on the block as well.
Now Fisher makes the lead pass, and it's Hibbert missing. Rose dishes to Dang. And that one goes in as he is fouled. It'll be 3 points if he converts at the line.
Well, their plan of attack has been pretty clear to see. You get the ball inside and just take it strong to the hoop. Be dominant in the lane.
Well, the defense has been very slow to adjust. I mean, that's 10 straight points now inside.
Bulls making a switch here. Heinrich's checked in.
You know, in order to win your division, you have to be able to win games against the rest of your conference, and that's exactly what Indiana did last season. A tough team and a tough division, and they gave no ground to other teams in the East.
Well, you just can't give them that kind of position in the post.
I'll tell you what, when he gets it in that tight, he's going to bury those.
Butler. Outside Rose, and stolen by Fisher. For the finish, and Hill throws it down.
Textbook example there of how to use defense to create offense.
Yeah, beautiful transition play after the steal all the way to the basket.
Wasted no time going from defense to offense.
Yeah, it feels like they're starting to pick up the intensity as the game itself starts to get a little more tight and close.
Dang goes in, just 5 on the clock. And he was fouled on the way up. 2 free throws now for him. And the Pacers, as you mentioned, Clark, very solid against the other teams in the East as they would cruise to a 31-20 record against the rest of the conference.
And really, that's because this team is built to handle anything that's thrown at them. Given it's a big, strong, kind of old-school team. They'll pound you inside, they rebound, they protect the paint. There aren't a lot of matchups that seem to bother this team.
Mike Dunleavy, who's checked in for Chicago. Henry comes in for Derrick Rose.
Well, Kevin, probably his greatest value lies in his tremendous three-point shooting. When he's out on the perimeter, it gives them the ability to really stretch the defense out.
And something else he's able to do that very few players can is change his shot as he's in the air without it affecting his accuracy. I mean, that's a unique skill, and it really helps him make buckets against tight defense.
Ozzie Muhammad's checked in for Chicago. And he's good on the second.
People have talked about the defensive renaissance in Chicago as a big part of their turnaround, and that's accurate. Hibbs has done wonders for this team defensively, but another aspect is that they've had one of the deepest benches in the league the past few years, too.
And Heinrich gets it to go. Pacers leading by 14. Hill passes to Fisher. Wants to screen on Heinrich. And Fisher kicks to Hibbert. Stolen by Noah. Henry with it. He's against Hill. Excellent D there from Hill. Go back to what you said, Clark, about Chicago. It is a credit to them that they've been able to constantly add or draft talent that is ready to step in for them. And Steve contribute off the bench.
Yeah, no doubt about that. You think about Taj Gibson, a late first-round pick. Jimmy Butler last year really emerged as one of the best young players in the league. Great story. So terrific job by the Bulls front office in figuring out which player to take later in the first round.
Danny Granger is checked in for Roy Hibbert. And so Tom Thibodeau is going to have a timeout right now. The Pacers beat them last time when these two teams met in Indiana.
And what caused them to lose that last matchup was the mistakes. I mean, they just committed too many turnovers, and they were sloppy with the ball, and that's why they lost.
And so we wrap up the first half. Pacers lead by 12. And coming up now, it's the Sprint Halftime Show with Damon Bruce. We'll return with the start of the third quarter in just a while.
And now, brought to you by Sprint.
Glad you're spending Saturday night with us. Let's check out what's happened so far. Indiana with the lead against Chicago. They're off to a hot start this season. They'd like to continue that hot streak in this game. Defensive pressure so far paying off. They're forcing miscues, ripping and running. David West has been going at it effortlessly against Chicago's D. He's got a dozen points, and he's also contributed on the glass. And for the Bulls, they're still gutting it out. The story of turnovers hasn't been a good one for them so far. It's really hurt to this point. Too casual with their possessions. A tremendous first half for Derrick Rose. He's got 16 points and is up to his usual tricks, dropping a lot of dimes all over the court. And that's all we have for you here in the studio. Now let's send it on back to Kevin Harlan, Steve Kerr, Clark Kellogg, and Doris Burke for the second half of play.
The Sprint Halftime Report, presented by Sprint.
And as we begin the second half, first half wasn't even close, guys, and we'll see if there is a comeback on our hands or more of the same as we get the third quarter started.
Excellent game we've seen from Derrick Rose. 16 points, and he's...
And here is Butler. 10 points for him. And the whistle blows. It's going to be on baddest one. That's his first foul.
And they're one away now from being in the penalty.
Yeah, you know, now's not the time to be careless. The next one sends them to the line.
Outside Butler. Rose against Fisher. Rose dishes to Butler. Shot clock at 6. It's good. This game is all even. Butler's got 5 points now this quarter.
They have finally fought all the way back to even the score. We're back to square one. Whole new ball game.
And with a comeback like that, they've definitely got the upper hand going forward.
D. Rose and Jimmy Butler at the back. Inside, Gibson and Noah. And it's Dang in at the 3 spot. That's the 5 out there for the Bulls. The Bulls have gone 7 of 10 on their field goal attempts here in the third.
Jimmy Butler was the last pick of the first round back in 2011 by the Bulls. And last season, I tell you what, he really solidified his place in the rotation guy. He's still developing his outside shot, but he brings an awful lot to light to the table.
Scola, a screen on Rose. In low to Scola. Missed inside.
Couldn't convert, but nice little two-man game there.
And it wouldn't surprise me to see them go back to that the next trip.
Dang passes to Rose. David West grabs the miss. West has got his 4th rebound with that last one here tonight. And for Jimmy Butler, what a story. Abandoned as a child, bounced around from home to home. One coach would take him in, other family would take him in.
Man, that was a real hard it up.
And a closer look here at the hustle stance for the Bulls.
Their activity at the defensive end, Kevin, has been really impressive. Attacking and coming away with steals.
They've repeatedly gotten out on the break tonight as well and scored a lot of baskets in transition.
Fisher with the ball. He has 5 with the lead pass and the basket by Scola.
Well, they certainly didn't have much of a problem getting the ball into the post that time.
Well, that's important because this game, I think, is going to be decided by who controls the paint in crunch time.
And let's catch up with our sideline reporter, Doris Burke. Doris, over to you.
Gentlemen, this summer, the Bulls broke ground on a new 60,000 square foot practice facility situated just east of the United Center. Starting next season, it will replace the 12-year-old Berto Center, a half-hour away in Deerfield, Illinois. The Bulls coming back downtown and doing it in style, in a state-of-the-art building with all the amenities, including a rooftop green terrace. Kevin?
Pretty impressive, Doris. Thanks.
When Hibbert came into the league, guys, everybody assumed he'd be a project, and that's been accurate. But projects can pay off, and to have a player with his size and work ethic and skill is a huge payday for the Pacers.
And going back to Hibbert and Clark, you mentioned this, looked at as a project when he came in, taken with the 17th pick, Steve, back in 08, and draft that you were involved with Phoenix.
Well, we took Robin Lopez at 14 because he just had much better mobility athletically. We were shocked that Hibbert could eventually develop the kind of speed and lateral quickness that he's done. So pretty impressive that he's put all this work in and defied his critics.
This game going to take a big swing. Clark, if the D continues to clear out like that and give up easy dunks.
Yeah, that's the kind of defense we expect to see in a blowout, Kevin, or even an exhibition game, not a close game like this.
Look how frustrated Steve is over
Well, you know what, Kevin? Come on, Kevin. I just like that he didn't choose to just lay it up there. I mean, he threw it down with force.
And here we go. Fisher heading to the hoop. And the slam dunk by Granger.
Yeah, nice fast break from start to finish, guys.
Especially on the back end. I mean, he polished it off perfectly.
Heinrich kicks to Dunleavy. Back to Heinrich. Six on the shot clock. And they will get the basket here, folks, as they rule goaltending.
He got there late, but you do have to like the aggressiveness to go after the block. But that one's going to count.
Paul George, he's checked in for the Pacers.
Well, if the Pacers wanted to grab the attention of the league with their postseason play, they certainly did that. They marched through the first two rounds by knocking off the Hawks and the Knicks. And, boy, remember, they were a game away from the NBA Finals.
Teague dishes to Boozer. And stolen by Hibbert. And now in transition is Fisher. Here we go. Hill passes to George. Heinrich with the steal. Teague with the ball. Now guarded by Fisher. Teague against Fisher. Teague kicks to Heinrich. 6 to shoot. Lets it go from deep. Gets it to go. And now a 5-point Bulls lead. Ultimately, the Pacers would fall to the Heat, but they put them to the test. I don't think there's any doubt about that. They gained respect league-wide even more than they had going into the playoffs. It took 7 games, Clark, and you saw them all, which a lot of folks didn't see coming.
I know that's the case, and yet the way the Pacers showed such grit in that series, it indicates they can compete with anybody. And when you have a defensive anchor like they do in Roy Hibbert, they've got a chance to be a champion.
Let's catch up with Doris from the sideline.
Well, guys, Tom Thibodeau had some advice for his team in that last timeout. With a deficit as we approach the final buzzer, he stayed upbeat, saying, listen, we can battle back, fellas. Just stay with me. I need all-out effort here, and we can bring it home. Fellas?
Thanks a lot, Doris. And a look at the 5 for the Pacers to start the fourth quarter. Down low, West and Hibbert. Fisher is out there with Watson, and it's George in at the small forward position. Rose dishes to Dang. He kicks to Noah. Back to Dang. Dang's home the trifecta. And the Bulls lead by 3.
And, guys, Dang has developed into a very good shooter, especially off spot-ups or maybe one-dribble pull-ups. He's got range. He's developed that out to the three-point line. But he really likes to go to that mid-range area. 1 or 2 dribbles into the paint, he'll rise up, shoot right over the top.
But you know what I like about him most, Steve? Dang is a very well-balanced player. He does a lot of good things offensively, but he's just as good at the defensive end. He's a big key to his team's tough defense.
Rose passes to Butler. The dish now to Dang. Takes it from 10. David West grabs the miss. And Indiana shooting so far very efficient all around, about 55%. Fisher with the ball. Noah picks him up. Hibbert. So the whistle blows on the shot and 2 free throws for the contact right there. That one on Rose. And back to the Bulls in the East. It wasn't just one guy who stepped in the shoes of Rose or that departed Hasek. It was a group effort.
You know, you looked at the roster last year, you kind of scratch your head and go, how is this team going to get to the second round without Derrick Rose? But they did it with a group of role players, with a front line that was tough and nasty and rebounded well, and with great coaching, too.
Danny Granger, he's checked in for C.J. Watson.
Well, they were sleeping on defense. The defense really didn't do its job. I mean, a little slow to react to the ball getting into the paint. That's costly.
Well, and at this stage of such a tight game, I think this is when tired legs start to show. And the defense can become vulnerable in the low block.
And Fisher kicks to Granger. That's good. And the assist goes to Fisher. Fisher's got his assist totals piling up. 11 now for him. Chicago's gone 4-6 from outside the arc tonight. Boozer, fended by West. Goes up the baseline, and the Bulls tack on 2 more.
What a display of offense we've seen today, and it's only getting better.
Well, both defenses have been on their heels all day, and it's begun to take its toll.
Fisher working against Rose. Stolen by Rose. And he goes up strong with one hand and flushes it down.
Well, I love it. Active hands on the steal, active feet on the fast break.
And Clark power on the dunk.
And guys, this is just too close of a game to be giving the ball up like that and then failing to get back in transition.
So here is West. West is screen on Rose. Fisher against Rose. Fisher dishes to West. And it's blocked by Noah.
That's some more rugged play from them inside. They have a decent edge in rebounds thus far.
And that hard work on the boards needs to continue. That could be what swings this game eventually.
Boy, it's been a tough go in terms of fouls for him. I mean, my goodness, he can't stay out of the way of foul.
Boozer gets this screen from Noah. Rose against Fisher. And out of bounds as the Pacers gain possession. And a chance now to check out the schedule for Indiana. Next up for them, the Knicks, a road game in New York. And that game will be game 2 of 3 straight on the road.
Yeah, some good matchups. And that New York Knicks game is one I'll have an eye on.
Indiana trailing here. They put up a nice win against the Bucks the last time out.
Well, Kevin, they constructed a perfect offensive game plan going into that game, and it was quickly apparent how powerless the defense was to stop it.
Powerless is a good way to put it, Steve. We're unlikely to see that many uncontested baskets again anytime soon.
Soft touch off the glass.
His shooting has been good, but overall, I think his output has been somewhat limited. The defense really keeping him from getting the number of shots he'd like.
Boozer passes to Rose. Now the feed to Noah. Out of bounds, Indiana takes possession. And here's what the Chicago Bulls schedule is looking like. They'll be at home for the next game against the Bobcats. That'll be the latter half of this 2-game homestand.
Some really good games going on. How about that Denver one? That's an interesting game.
Indiana's gone 2 for 2 from three-point land to start the 4th quarter. Hibbert with a screen on Rose. And Fisher kicks to Granger. That's good. And the assist goes to Fisher. And now a 3-point Indiana lead. Rose dishes to Noah. Boozer against West. Fades back. And again, no good by Chicago. Pacers leading by 3. And that one's good from Fisher.
Another pass put right into the shooter's pocket, right in the shooting pocket for a terrific assist. They've done a lot of that today.
Yeah, it's something we haven't seen much of at the other end of the floor, though.
Well, their pass it to Boozer. He dishes it to Rose. Pass to Noah. To help the run. And count the basket. He was fouled, and he's going to the line for one more.
Well, he certainly isn't the one to blame for them being in the hole. He's been on the money with his game.
And a moment to look at the scoring approach in terms of where the points are coming from for the Pacers.
You know, one of the big stories has been the 3-ball. It's been a key part of their offense throughout the game.
And I'll tell you, the other thing that's been a factor is the transition game. They're scoring a lot of points on the fast break.
And here are the Bulls now, trailing by 2. Outside Rose. Noah with a screen for Rose. And he drops him away up off the glass. Rose has got 31 points. Indiana's gotten off to a great start from three-point range in the final quarter. They're a perfect 3 of 3. Rose against Fisher. Back to Hibbert. The shot is off. And Chicago will go the other way with the ball. They'll be at home for the next game against the Bobcats. And that game is the second of 2 straight at home. And stolen by Fisher. Lays it in off the breakaway. And the Pacers lead by 2.
He shot the ball exceptionally well as they've built this lead for themselves here.
Butler kicks to Rose. With the tip, he hangs in there and crashes in on the second chance points.
He never gives up on a missed shot. He feels like everyone is his, and that tip in paid off for him.
Hibbert with a screen on Rose. Here's Fisher. The feather touch on the finger roll. Beautiful.
Not a lot stopping him here in the fourth. He's now 4 for 5.
For Chicago, they've gone 7 of 11 from the floor in the final quarter so far. And some solid looks for them. Noah with a screen on Fisher. He got right to the cup using that screen. 33 points for Derrick Rose.
Yeah, he's one of those guys that's special because he lives for the big moments. Fearless. I mean, he will take any big shot down the stretch. He wants the ball in his hands.
I tell you what else I like is his attacking mindset too, Steve. No matter where he is on the court, when he gets possession, he will turn it up and turn it on and run out. Most of the time, he doesn't stop until he's laid the ball in the hoop.
Here's Dang, and Granger with the block. Fisher against Butler. West a screen on Boozer. Not watching the line there. That'll be a backcourt violation.
Well, he's forcing the issue out there, guys. No question. He's really struggling trying to take care of the ball.
The Bulls have gone 8 of 13 from the field since the start of the fourth, sinking the majority of their shots. Rose off the pick from Boozer. Rose dishes to Dang. And so it looks like the Bulls will retain possession here. Here's Butler. And 2 free throws coming up as he misses that one. Drawing the whistle and a lot of contact there.
Well, a good one here for Butler. He's got 14 points, and also those active hands of his have led to a pair of steals.
Yeah, Clark, he's had a great presence defensively. He's thrown off their rhythm on several occasions.
Indiana's gotten off to a great start from three-point range in the final quarter. They're a perfect 3 of 3. Hibbert with a screen on Rose. Fisher, the pass to West. Got freed up. Nice work off the pick. And the Pacers lead by 2.
And he came off that screen. The defense just couldn't get over the top. Beautiful play.
Yep, and without a hand in his face, he's going to bury those.
The kick outside to Butler. And misses it off the right side of the rim.
He doesn't really scare a defense at all. You've seen him miss quite a few just like those.
Boozer trying to get open. And it's going to be a goaltending call here, so they'll count the bucket.
Big call, Kevin. He just didn't get there quick enough, and that's a tough break.
The Pacers shooting the ball really well in this game, 58%. Here's Fisher. Kicks to George. Feeds to Hibbert. And it's sent back by Noah. And that's out of bounds. Indiana will retain possession. 1:41 left in the fourth. Clock at 6. And Fisher kicks to George.
You know, this half hasn't been as successful for him as the first. He's having difficulty getting it to fall.
Rose with the ball. Now guarded by Fisher. And it's Rose penetrating. Oh, and that one, no question, powered it down. He can fly, can he? He'll make you forget he's a point guard sometimes.
Yeah, when he does decide to attack the basket, Kevin, he can do it with the best of them.
And this is the time to attack with these two teams locked in such a close game.
Now here's Rose, the fast break opportunity. Oh, and the jam by Butler.
Boy, their defense making an impact here late, Kevin.
And straight off the steal, Clark, a perfectly run fast break ends in a slam dunk.
That could be a huge 4-point swing in this game.
Hibbert with a screen on Rose. Fisher dishes to Hibbert. It's all in by the Bulls. Left side Rose. There's 45 seconds left here in the fourth quarter. Foul call. Looked like the D didn't get there in time, and he'll shoot free throws. Good on the first, and that puts them up by 5. He's off on the free throw and able to get that second one to drop in.
Not as productive a trip to the line as he would have liked, but they're still in a pretty comfortable position.
Granger with the bucket.
That's a huge shot.
And that put a hush over the crowd.
Yeah, the volume's been turned down in this building in a big hurry.
And it's Rose penetrating. Boozer passes to Rose. It's good!
Late reaction from the defense, and he's always going to make good on that.
Clark, no room for error.
Kevin, got to be perfect from here on out. You're exactly right.
2-second difference between shot clock and game clock. And Fisher kicks it to West. West off the pick from Fisher. Kicks it out to Granger. From downtown! Carlos Boozer pulls it in. And an intentional foul right there. First free throw is good, and that increases their lead to 6. And so it's Chicago winning this one. Both teams played well, but these guys have the edge.
Yeah, I think so. They were just steak knife sharp. Very on top of their game here.
Well said. So that'll do it for now. For Clark Kellogg, Steve Kerr, and Doris Burke, this is Kevin Harlan. Thanks for joining us for this presentation of the NBA on 2K Sports. We'll see you next time.
You are picking pockets left and right in tonight's game, setting your career high in steals. Were you specifically focused on getting as many steals as you could?
Yeah, I was specifically focused on getting as many steals as I could. I was also specifically focused on getting as many points as I could, and rebounds, and blocks. Look, my intention is always to fill out the stat sheet like no other, and tonight I just had a nose for the ball.